Hello and welcome to a new video. In this video we are in France. So we have been here for a while now, and it is some things that are very confusing about France. So we will get through 14 of these things. So I guess we start. So number one, that is like everyone here is walking around with a baguette in their hand. Yeah. Okay, not everyone, but that is very common. And you don't see that in a... fruit flies. We really like fruit. We eat lots of fruit here. Okay, to the point. Yeah, they don't eat fruit. They eat baguettes, which is very weird. So yeah, we don't see them eating. They just walk around with it. It's like the little fashion or something.
Right. So it seems like a stereotype, but if you want to fit into France, you have to go buy a baguette. Like as soon as you get off the plane, just get a baguette and just walk around with it, and people will assume you're French.
Yeah, a little bit like that, yes.
And so we think that people have baguettes that they just take out like umbrellas, like they just carry them around.
Exactly.
It's like part of their fashion show.
Yeah, like their scarf or something. Yeah. They feel naked without it. I don't know why. So the next thing is, the second thing is smoking. I mean, I'm so I'm surprised that they still smoke so much here. Yeah, even younger people.
Dear French people, the whole rest of the world stopped smoking like 10 years ago.
Yes.
So, but here smoking is, I mean, it also seems like a stereotype that French people smoke, but I mean, there's smoking inside, there's smoking on the streets, like everyone smokes. They even smoke without even using their hands. Like they just have the cigarette in their lips and they just go...
Exactly, and they think that like it's okay to smoke someone in the face. So if you're walking and you get like a big smoke in your face, you have to be careful because that has happened so many times. I mean, they don't show respect, I guess. So.
Yeah, you have to be really careful too walking down the street because people are just holding lit cigarettes and sometimes they'll brush against you and burn your clothes. So I don't know why France is still smoking. Get with it, France. Smoking is not good for you. It doesn't look cool.
Yeah, and the next thing is where are the electric cars? I mean, so many other places in Europe they have lots of electric cars. We went to London, for example, and I noticed that the air was so much fresher than last time I was there, and that was because of the electric cars. But here, where are they? I see them very rarely here, which is very weird because the air is not good, and they should have more electric cars here.
Well, compared to the US, I mean, they do have the cars that turn off whenever you go to a stoplight. So the manual transmission cars, whenever you have the clutch, let's see, if you have it out of gear and the clutch is out and you have to have your foot completely off the clutch, then the car will turn off. So at least it doesn't put exhaust like at the stoplights, but I think that's more like to save gas.
Yeah.
But I will say it's like we've been to Marseille, we've been to Lyon, and we've been to Paris, and I honestly haven't taken a deep breath since I've been to any of these three places because it actually like hurts to breathe. The exhaust is so thick, and there's lots of motorcycles and scooters, and very, very few of them are electric.
Exactly.
So it's almost like impossible to breathe on the street. So today we went up to like the top of a big mountain and just sat there and just breathed for like...
Yeah, and it's a little bit same like I said with the smoking also. They turn on the driving exactly when you are behind it. I mean, it's not respectful. You don't do that. And okay, so we go to the fourth thing, and that is something you have noticed, the clothing dryers. Where are they? Dryers?
Again, like there's no clothing dryers here. So I don't have my fluffy towels, which we talked about in my last video. But I also have all my clothes sitting on the balcony here, and so at night, it rains at night, so sometimes I wake up and my clothes are just even wetter than when I put them out. And the apartment we're in is so small that I can't really dry my clothes inside. I don't know where the clothes dryers are, like if they don't sell them in France or what's going on, but it's like a whole 2-day thing if you want to do any wash your clothes, do any laundry. So,
it really is. And then we go to the number 5. And that is something that is really weird, and that is that they are not so interested to speak English, and it seems like they are not super interesting to learn English either. I mean, they always wanted to speak French. I mean, the whole world speak English, so why? I know that it's very different from France, and it's like you pronounce things very different, and they might be shy, but still it should be more popular to learn English. I mean, especially here when we are in Marseille, or a little bit outside Paris. They are really bad at English.
I think it's difficult for you because you don't know French as well as I do. So I speak French. I studied it for a long time, and I speak only French when I'm here. I refuse to speak English. and people are usually a little more receptive to that. But if you're from another country where like English is the common language, you can get away with speaking English in Paris, but as soon as you leave Paris, like we went to Lyon, which is about 2 hours south of Paris, and then Marseille, which is another 5 hour, is like 5 hours south of Paris. People will, they just don't speak English, and so if you're wanting to come to Paris and you're hoping to speak English, you should just stick around. Coming to France, you should just stick around Paris because you'll have a much easier time. But I will say that when I do speak French with people here, they generally are much more receptive to it, even if I only know a couple words. And so I appreciate that I get to practice my French here.
And they get very happy also when you speak French with them, which is funny. And so that is something that is a little bit weird, I think.
Yeah, and I get to work on my accent too. So
yes. And the next thing is about grocery store, the 6th. And the special section for cheese. I mean, it's on all the places. You see a special section on cheese, but it's very like obvious in the store here. it's like standing out from everything in the store. The cheese, and you also feel the smell. They eat lots of cheese here.
Yeah. So remember when we went to Mexico, they had a special section of the store just for cactus.
Yes.
So you could go into a grocery store and you could just order cactus, and they would like skin the cactus for you. Well, and then prepare it and cut it up and everything, the nopal. But here in France, there is definitely one section and one person whose almost entire job is to just have this huge selection of cheese, and they cut the cheese for you, or they make cheese recommendations. They never have vegan cheese behind there. We've actually had a really hard time finding raw vegan cheese, which almost doesn't exist here. The last time we saw raw vegan cheese was like, I think we found it at one shop in Paris, and we bought a few like camembert.
It was fantastic.
And yeah, they were actually really good, and I've been making cheese plates of it. But if you want to find vegan cheese or raw vegan cheese, there's one place called 42 Degrees in Paris that makes a raw vegan cheese, and then Sweet Romance in Paris also makes a raw vegan cheese. But if you want to go to the stores, it's very difficult to find raw vegan cheese. And vegan cheese, I think there's 2 brands. One's made of soy and one made of rice, and they're definitely not raw. So if you're coming to Paris as a vegan, you're not going to be able to taste any of the cheeses here.
Yes, exactly. And that was surprising me, because I was really hoping that we could try fantastic cheeses. I mean, the one we have tried was absolutely fantastic, but I thought it was more varieties. So they are very conservative with the cheeses. They don't want to make them vegan.
Right.
And the next point is about also a little bit about vegan cheeses, but also about other vegan products that in store they actually don't have, like, they have a little bit of special section for it, but they also have other things there. So when we were looking for vegan cheese, we have to look on the places where actually cheese is, because whoa, there was a vegan cheese in the middle of everything. So we have to like really check what is vegan, what is not vegan. I mean, normally on other places you have like this section is vegan and this is not vegan. So that is something I missed, actually.
So we've been going to Naturalia, and there's, I think, 200 stores in France of Naturalia. And they do label, like, they say vache for cow, and they say brebis for goat. And they'll say vegan for vegan, and they'll kind of label the sections. But I'm used to stores, like, especially in the US and even in other parts of Europe, where there is a whole special vegan section. Like Whole Foods, for instance, has a whole special vegan section. But here you're going to have to look really hard and try to figure out what are the vegan cheeses. And as I said, there's only like 2 or 3 brands that you can find. So if you're not careful, and as a vegan, you might accidentally buy some other cheese, and then you won't find out until you get home that.
And maybe that's what they want also, because they are, I mean, the specialty is cheese here. It really is. Yeah. But what's good about the cheeses, I have to say something good also, and that is that they don't pasteurize so much of it, actually. And that is good, because if you will eat cheese, it's better to have it not pasteurized. It's so much better for health. So that was a little positive point I want to say about it also.
So if you're vegetarian, each store has like 100 types of cheese, and there's whole cheese stores too. We've been having much better luck finding vegan chocolate, and so I don't know if that's on our list, but yeah.
No, that is not on our list, but that is something that is very good here.
Yeah.
So on our next on the list, number 8, and that is something I am used to, because that is like in all Europe. But the dogs here is very small, and they are not that in the US. I know that because I have been there. That was something you react on. And here in Paris is actually more tiny dogs than other places. In Europe, absolutely it is, I agree.
So it's like the cars. Like the cars are really tiny compared to what I'm used to in the US. And also the dogs are really tiny. So I don't know, for some reason France has now made like all their cars and all their dogs are really tiny. So you have to be careful walking on the street because there's often a little tiny dog running around. I mean, there are some bigger dogs, but they just make dogs smaller here.
And the next thing is that number 9. I have noticed that almost everyone that is a woman here wear makeup. It's not so many people that are French that actually don't wear makeup. Not often I see makeup-free women, and I feel like a little bit alone there, or naked, because I am almost without makeup, and I am like the only one because everyone wears makeup here. And I mean, nothing wrong with that, but they are also very beautiful without it, I guess. So but that is just something I noticed if I compare to other places. So we go to number 10, and that is they drive very aggressive here, so be careful if you don't want to have an accident here.
Yeah, yes. And it's a little hard to understand the street signs too. So wait for the little green guy to cross, but even if there's a green guy, you're most likely going to have to keep both eyes open for scooters that run past, because scooters and motorcycles, and bicycles for the most part, they just seem to be they have precedence over pedestrians, which I don't think they're supposed to, but it can be very dangerous crossing the street, even when you have a green light. The buses and the cars and the taxis will stop for you, at least if you put one foot into the street on regular crosswalks, which don't have a green light, but on the corners, you definitely have to look both ways and just don't step off until it's completely clear.
Yeah, people here, they are very calm, and they are not stressed at all if you're in a store, for example. But in the traffic, for some reason, they are just super stressed. So just know that. Yeah,
we've been honked at several times, even though it's our turn to walk across the street, just because someone is driving like up a hill or something, and they just don't want to stop. Yeah. So they just honk at us to get out of the way, even though we have right of way. So that's very different from what I'm used to in California and most parts of the US, where pedestrians have the right of way, and you don't have to worry about crossing the street if you have the street sign. But yes, we're very lucky that we're hopefully gonna make it through the rest of our trip without having any problems with crossing the street.
So the next thing, number 11, where are the toilet seats on the public toilets? They are free from toilet seats. It's so disgusting when you flush the toilet and you can't
Yeah, the first restaurant I went to, I thought maybe someone had stolen the toilet seat, but they literally, there's a place to put a toilet seat. There's 2 little bolts where there should be a toilet seat, but there just isn't one there. So there's no like barrier between you. It kind of looks like you're going to fall in, but I guess they're shaped differently. But you're sitting right on the cold porcelains, which I've never seen anywhere else in Europe. It's just a bare seat, as if someone had gone through the entire country of France and stolen every toilet seat, or maybe they just don't sell them here. We have one in our Airbnb, but anytime you go out,
public toilets,
there is no toilet seat, so you just have to wipe everything down or use it, and it's very weird.
And because of that, so we're going to number 13 now, and that is that you are actually a guy, and you should be happy that you don't really need a toilet seat.
Right.
So number 13, people, they think that you are not a guy. They call you madame.
Right. Yeah, there's been a few places that I go. I guess guys with long hair aren't very common here, or maybe I just look a little different. But I get called madame a lot, and it's usually a person behind a desk that isn't really paying much attention. But they'll say bonjour madame, and I have to say monsieur, and they say je suis désolé. But it's really weird. I don't know. I've never experienced that, because long hair is very common where I live on the west coast of the U.S. And if someone mistook your gender in the U.S., most parts of the U.S., they would be very embarrassed and apologetic, and they usually don't do that. They usually just don't assume gender. It's kind of a big topic in the U.S., but here we've learned that I get misgendered all the time, and it's only just because I have long hair. And if I have my hair up in a ponytail, then it doesn't happen. So it's very weird.
Yes, exactly. So if we go, this was actually number 12. So if we go number 13 now, that is that the light to the toilet is actually on, not inside the bathroom, it's outside, and that is on all places we have been to.
Yeah.
Yes, so the lighting on the bathroom is actually on the outside. on the door, which is kind of funny because you can like you can turn it off if someone is sitting there.
Yeah, I grew up with a younger brother, and it was often that we would play pranks on each other, and so this is a perfect place to play a prank on someone. I don't know why the lights for the bathroom are on the inside, but it's everywhere. Restaurants, the Airbnb, the apartments, everywhere you can very easily just turn off the light when someone's sitting on the toilet, and it's very weird. So I don't know why the lights are just aren't on the inside, but
Doesn't make
it's been
sense.
like that everywhere. Yeah.
Yes. So the last one, number 14.
Mhm.
We have noticed one thing at places or stores. They actually look ugly on the outside, but when you look inside, they are so beautiful. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of places that you go to and it looks really ugly on the inside or the outside. I'm sorry. So as you're walking down the street, it's just a very old building and the paint's peeling off and the door's all broken and everything. But every once in a while, we'll walk past one where we can look through the window or someone's just opening the door and it's like absolutely gorgeous on the inside. Like it's a modern place with a courtyard in the center and they have like just very nice furniture and everything. So. Yeah, that's very strange. So people, I guess in general, they want to make their places look not nice on the outside so that no one breaks in or something. But yeah, if you're lucky enough to go get invited to someone's house, you'll probably notice that on the inside it's just absolutely fantastic, but on the outside it looks like an old warehouse or
because it can be so beautiful on different places. We have noticed like a store or something is like whoa, magic when you come in. Yes, so this was all the things we have. Yeah. So you can check out our other video we made for a few days ago where you talk about weird things in Sweden, which was very interesting also. And more videos will be uploaded, so press the subscribe button. Yes. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye.